are jaguars in this area, and one has been seen in here more than once, a big lone male. And I'm pretty sure that as we walk through this forest, we kind of have to be a little bit cautious. You know, a jaguar is going to know that we're in its environment long before we ever see him. But I don't know if jaguars are occipital crunchers or not, but what that means is they'll come up behind you and crunch the back of your skull until your brains ooze down into the back of your pants. Pretty sure jaguars aren't like that, but
Kinky.
Even so, I kind of want to see them. Okay, so we've just come across this little like vernal pond here, and it's a permanent water source in the middle of the forest. And when you find permanent water sources like this, chances are you're going to find reptiles hanging around and other animals. We're here for the reptiles, of course, but we're going to spend a little time here and look around and see if there's anybody just kind of camping out next to this permanent water source. So our guide just told us that not only do reptiles kind of hang around this place, but jaguars are here, and they come to places like this to drink. All right, so we've gotten to a place here in the middle of the jungle to release this boa, and this is like the perfect scenario for him to be released, because if you look over here, we've got all of this place for him to hide. We've got all these rock structures over here, and we have this entire protected forest for him to live in. Our boa friend, this is really high tech. Our boa friend is in this backpack right here. We're gonna get him out and release him. This guy is extremely surly and not at all happy. But in a second, this snake is gonna be very happy, because this snake has this entire habitat now to reestablish itself in. Come on, son. Oh, listen to that. He's already hissing. Would you stick your hand into a bag with a big hissing boa like this and not know where the head is? Donde está la boca? Okay, got it. There we go. Look at this beautiful snake. So this is a typical coloration of a boa that's found here in the Yucatan of Mexico. So this is one of the most northerly portions of the boas.
Look at the body condition. Boas are super cool because they're square. Most of the ball pythons and stuff that you see, they've got like a triangular or more like a teardrop shape. But boas, when they're fit, they are square. So just notice that as we watch.
Range, and just have a look at that head. Where other boas will have really red, vibrant tails, here in Mexico, the top 2/3 of their body has that red coloration. And this makes it one of the most beautiful geographic variations of the boas because of that vibrant red head. You know, and a lot of people have their preferences, whether they be Peruvian boas or whether they be Colombian boas or boas from right here in Mexico. Whoa! My preference, hey, you're screwing up my audio there, buddy. My preference are ones from Suriname, but just
Look at those. Can you see that? I turned it all the way up to 4K, so I hope you can see that. That's so cool. Check those out. Check those little hypodermal teeth. They're so cool. They also really suck because they'll break off. So you really don't want to flinch if you get bit by a snake. Like, don't flinch, don't pull away. That is the worst case scenario. You will get teeth in your skin. But look at this pretty face.
Just have a look at how muddy and just really dark this snake is in coloration. And again, check out that tail. It's not as red as other geographic variations of boas, but this is Boa imperator. And as you can see, this snake is hissy, it's pissy, it is not at all happy.
I want to say Summer's about that size. I mean, I think he was saying that this is a Hog Island boa, so they're built just a tiny bit different. They're subspecies. And mine is just designer general boa. But yeah, I think she's about this long. But look at those muscles. Look at that muscle line right there. Look at that. Look at that fucking square. Like, I need an actual pointer. Like, just look. Isn't that nice? Yeah, he's a nice snake.
I don't want you looking at me, buddy. And this snake really has no idea that we are here to help him and release him. I'm just gonna set you down, buddy. You can be on your own. There you go. But this snake has no idea that we are here to help, that this snake is now free to roam and live and have a long, happy, healthy life here in Mexico. Look at this. So what the snake is doing right now, look at this. He sees the branch and he's going to try to retreat to higher ground to get away from us. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. Look at this. But just look at that muscle control on this snake as he tried to reach this branch right here. That is absolutely incredible. These are nothing more than one big muscle, and they have really amazing control over all of their muscle structure so that they can go from the ground right up into the trees just like that. That was incredible. So again, this is the typical coloration of boas that are found here in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Again, one of their most northerly portions of their range. But man, this is just an absolute gorgeous boa. And to me, it's all about that red head. How amazing is this? Rainbow Mealworms is not only a proud sponsor of this channel, they are the premier source for
Ad time.
all your reptile food needs. They grow all of their quality insects in-house, and I use them in Parada. Look at rainbowmealworms.net or click the link in the description below. So if that's what boa imperator looks like on the Caribbean side of the Yucatan, I wondered if they look different on the Gulf
I rescind what I said about Hog Island.
side of the peninsula. So we drove for hours from Cancun until we reached an obscure expanse of dry tropical forest just south of Merida. The forests here seemed to go on forever and hid much more than just boas between the trees. With every mile we went deeper into this forest, there were ruins of an ancient culture that lay hidden all around us. Take a look at this. This is actually a Mayan relic here in the middle of the forest. And all over this particular area in Mexico, you just come across Mayan ruins in the middle of the woods like this. And we often think that Mayan ruins are these huge pyramids that we've seen, but you come across something like this that was actually used by the Mayans, and it's just still sitting here all these centuries later, right in the middle of the woods. So that just gives you an idea of the varied habitats that boas live in here in Mexico, and the varied I thought that was a snake. And the varied habitats that are found here in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. But here, in this environment, it's really hot, it's really dry, and therefore most snakes, boas included, will become primarily nocturnal in this environment. So have a look at this tree here in the boa's habitat in this dry forest. This is an acacia tree. This is actually a fern-leafed acacia tree. Look at those thorns that this thing has. Those things just tear into me every time I walk too close to them. But this acacia tree is also native to the Middle East and Africa, and they're also native to here in Mexico. So we're gonna walk around this forest, see if we can see one out and about during the day. But tonight after nightfall, we're gonna grab our flashlights and we're gonna walk around this environment at night and see if we can catch a boa out and about at night tonight. So in order to find boas in this part of the Yucatan, this is the Gulf part of the Yucatan, and we've teamed up with a local guide, Pedro, and he told us that our best shot of finding a boa out here in the wild at night was at this place, which is an abandoned hotel, which he claims is haunted. All right, so Pedro, why is this place considered to be haunted?
And people say that he can see ghosts and he can hear screams during the night, and that's the reason why the people think that.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't hear anything.
Not yet.
No, I farted, but other than that.
That's why more in the deep night, we will die.
Oh, look at this. This must be the reception area. Maybe, who knows? This looks like this might have been a really nice hotel before it became all dilapidated and haunted. But when you have an old dilapidated hotel like this, these become magnets for snakes and ghosts. Look at this. This must have been some kind of communal shower area. Who knows? That's the gateway to hell. Okay, we got a boa here. Where's the boa?
Can you see the head?
Okay, another quick disclaimer because I did finally figure out that like I am playing on YouTube. Disclaimer: this is not my video. This is Dave Kaufman's movie that he made. You can see his little logo down in the corner. I do not claim this at all. This is just something I've been meaning to watch, and it's Flat Fuck Friday. So, you know, under the thing that it's educational content, which I love. So here we go. Again, goodbye.
Oh yeah, it's just a little juvenile, and he's wedged way
He's so cute! Look at him! Oh my god!
up in that terracotta. We got to try to get him out though.
I can try to hook it here.
Okay.
Yeah, do. Ready?
All right, let's make sure there's no cantils below us before we
Yeah.
step down there. All right, we're gonna try to get this guy out. Oh, he's wedged up in this terracotta.
We can move something here.
Oh,
Yeah, it's coming.
come on.
It's coming.
Come on, little guy, come on.
We got it. Perfect.
Do you see that? I caught him midair. That was awesome. Oh man, now this is a beautiful juvenile Mexican boa imperator. Look at this guy. All right, let's take a better look at him. Woo! All right, guys, have a look at this. This is a wild juvenile boa imperator here in the Yucatan. And just look at this beauty. Look at that arrowhead head marking on it.
That's about the size Summer was when I got her. just to let you know, like 4 years ago when she was a baby.
And look at those colors. So as juveniles, these guys have these really beautiful silver patterns with these brown saddles. But take a look at that head. Unlike the one that we released on the Caribbean side of the Yucatan, this guy doesn't yet have those red markings on his head. And take a look at that tail. Even as a juvenile, these guys don't have very red tails. They kind of have that muddy brown, kind of maroonish tail. But just have a look at that silver sides, that silver color. This is one incredibly beautiful juvenile boa on, again, the Gulf side of the Yucatan. And what's most amazing about this is that we had to come to a haunted hotel to find this guy. Is this the typical coloration that you find in juvenile boas here?
Can be, but it's a little bit pale. It's not a too strong coloration, but this is still very beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And now, before we found this guy, you were telling me the Mayan name for boas.
Yes. In the Mayan
Yeah,
culture,
okay.
its snake is called Ochcan. Ochcan, can is a snake in Maya, and the name Och can be different meanings. For example, Och can be for Nohoch, who is meaning big, because boas are the biggest snakes in Mexico, and of course in the Yucatan Peninsula, can reach almost 3 meters. So can you imagine a very huge animal, a very fat animal? That's the reason why it can be called Nohochcan, or maybe Ochcan. Or another meaning for Och is opossum. So maybe it can have something about the diet of this
A possum.
opossum. Yeah,
Interesting.
can be focused on the diet of this animal. Who can eat opossum or something like this? It's not completely clear, but it's Ochcan, the Mayan name.
Wow. Absolutely amazing boa. And you know, I really wanted to find a juvenile to show off juvenile colors, and you
Yeah.
put us on him.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Morph Market is the #1 online marketplace for all your reptiles and amphibians. You can search through over 60 categories to find your perfect new pet, whether it's the latest boa constrictor morph or your 150th crested gecko. It's all right here at one place. Morph Market. Zilla has everything you need for your reptile pets, from caging to lighting and everything in between. To see the
Holy ads, Dave. What the hell? I'm kidding. You probably needed all kinds of funding for this. It's got to be expensive to fund a trip all the way down there. Let me try and use me as italics to your chat message or your chat color. If I only works within a command or chat message event, whisper. I don't care. Send message to send. find what we're watching here. Okay, add. Okay, let me test this in chat here. Anything? No? Save changes, maybe? Try again. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna have to edit that, so cancel. Okay, I think that's gonna be fine. Okay.
Their entire catalog and find out where you can get Zilla products near you, visit ZillaRules.com. There's a rumor floating around that the Hog Island boa, my favorite locality boa, has been extirpated in the wild due to overcollecting in the 70s and 80s and is no longer present on the islands. Some are sure they are no longer there, and others say they're still quite plentiful. So to find out what is true, I visited my friend Ketzel Dwyer in Texas at his amazing reptile zoo, Reptilandia.
What's going on? Good, how are you? Good to see you.
In this exhibit to my right, these are Hog Island boas.
So let's talk about the Hog Island boas for a second.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say that the island is now devoid of boas.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
that's
think
not.
that is.
That's absolutely. I know the exporters in Honduras who were responsible for them collecting. And, you know, the numbers that they told me that they were getting was staggering. I mean,
Right.
almost hard to believe.
Right.
Like a couple hundred a week.
Because that island isn't very big.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a couple hundred a week for months and months and months. And it's hard to believe they could have survived that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they definitely did get depleted. But then, you know, when Honduras shut down and the market was flooded, they left them alone, and the remainder of, you know, there were some survivors, and they bounced back. That could have been a lot more tragic of a story than it ended up being. Something interesting about this species is that Hog Island is fairly close to the mainland, and these are very distinct from the mainland boas. You know, it's a small, pale bird eater, which is what happens, what boa constrictor imperator does when they're obligated to eat birds and lizards.
Yeah, I want to get out to this island.
Yeah, I could arrange that.
And just a short time later, we were on a flight to Houston to Honduras to begin an exploratory adventure I've dreamt of all my life. As we drove through the northern Honduran countryside to an obscure place on the Caribbean Sea to catch our boat, I stared at the inviting tropical habitats and wondered what the mainland boas in Honduras look like. But that will have to be a trip for another time. The Hog Islands, locally known as Cayos Cochinos, are only 2 small islands and 13 smaller coral cays situated off the northern shores of mainland Honduras, which all are collectively known as the Bay Islands. The larger of the 2 islands is where home was going to be for us for the next week. So after a 3-hour flight from Houston to San Pedro Sula, and then a 7-hour drive out here, which I don't know where out here actually is. I think it's called the town of Armenia, maybe? Middle of nowhere in Honduras is where we are, but there's a river right behind me over here, and this river dumps out into the Caribbean Sea, and then it's about maybe 15 miles until we get out to Hog Island. So we're here waiting for our boat. I'm not sure where it is, but this is our jumping off point from the mainland here in Honduras. Next stop is the islands.
Okay, I hope that's not our boat, or that one, or that one. And this one is full of water. I hope that's not our boat either. But this is where we're kind of stuck until our boat gets here. And then it's about an hour boat ride until we finally reach Hog Island. All right, so our ride is here. We got 50 pounds full of camera equipment as usual, but this is our ride. Look at how much beer we've got. That's a lot of beer. All right, Ketzel, let me hand you this. Careful, my Coke is about to fall. All right, I'm gonna go say howdy to a bush over there and then we'll get out of here. So we've made it to the Caribbean Sea. This is a pretty angry sea. Holy crap. We've got to hit these waves at just a specific angle. Otherwise our boat's gonna capsize. Are you all right? You're good? You're not scared? You're okay? All right, good. Yeah, isn't the view just absolutely beautiful from here? Yeah, that's a great view. Holy crap. Oh my God, I've got so much salt water in my eyes I can't see. Woo! So there's the islands right there. Oh, man, we don't have that much further to go. We have arrived on Hog Island. I've been wanting to come to this place almost all of my life. Whew, that was a ride. All right. You see any boas yet?
Nope, not yet. Don't worry. Give us a few hours.
All right, look at this. We didn't lose a single beer bottle. All right, look at this. Hog Island.
This is Henry. I'll go.
That's pretty impressive, Dave.
Henry. Mucho gusto.
Todo bien? Todo bien? Todo bien?
Oh.
Dude, look at those dreads. Look at those. I want those. Those are nice. Nice dreads.
How was it? Was it
Good.
hot?
Yeah.
No?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, my ass is asleep, which means it's going to be awake all night, but other than that, it was good. Okay, so I've cleaned the salt out of my eyes so I can see now, but this, oh, you got to open the door from inside the window, I suppose. All right, so this right here is my Hog Island home for a while. It's very pink and polka dotty, very Catalina-like in here. And, well, I don't know if there's sheets or not, but either way, this is home. What's back here? Oh, we got a little bathroom back here. All right, so this is the bathroom. What more do you need? You got a shower back here, a sink, whatever people use that for. All right, so I'm gonna get out of these wet clothes, probably use that shower. My eyes are still stinging from all that salt water, but this is home for the next few days while we go around this island and try to find the Hog Island boa. Not try, we will find it. I'm not leaving this island without it. But yeah, time to clean up a little bit. Then we're gonna get out there and we're gonna find this boa. So this is Henry, and Henry, you are basically the maintenance guy and the caretaker of this place. What is this place actually called?
We don't have like a name right now because we're still working on it.
So this place isn't even open to the public yet?
Nope.
Ah, okay. So we're the first people ever to be here, right?
Yeah.
Really? I was kind of joking, but okay. Wow, I'm actually rather honored with that. So when you find the boas, are the boas up in the trees or are they on the ground or both?
In the night, sometimes you can see it in the ground, and now in the day you can see it in the trees.
So daytime trees, nighttime ground.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, we heading up this way here? Yep. Okay. All right, so before I go and clean up and take a shower, I've got to explore this place. This is absolutely beyond my expectations. It is beyond beautiful. We are on the grounds of the hotel area that we're at. It's not really a resort. There's just a couple of buildings here in the middle of the forest, and this is where obviously we're going to be staying tonight. But this place is absolutely incredibly beautiful, and those boas could literally be anywhere around here. You're joking?
I am joking. No, it's right there, right in front of us.
Are you kidding me? We literally, look at this, guys. That's insane. We literally, I haven't even showered yet. We went on a walk to go check this area out. We haven't even left our little hotel area, our little camp here. There's a Hog Island boa sitting right there. That is insane. Literally haven't been here for longer than 3 minutes. Henry, did you know that this snake was there?
Nah, I wasn't.
So literally, we just were walking here, and there he is, just, and this is how you find him.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that pretty much average size?
Yeah.
That's as big as they get here?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I can't believe it. So how many do you usually see around here?
We see 7, sometimes 6.
Wow.
But you're always gonna see him right here. They love to be in the bamboos, closer to the water.
And you were telling us that as we were walking up here in the 2 minutes that it took us to get here, you were telling us that this water source attracts birds. And so these guys will sit in these branches right above this water source because it attracts the birds, and this is where they sit and they hunt by the water.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of them here. They're pretty common.
Yeah. And I used to see boas eating some birds.
Oh, wow.
Or eating iguanas.
Yeah, I knew that they ate a lot of iguanas. I know that they eat a lot of birds. Are there rats on this island?
Yeah.
There are. And are the boas eating them?
Yeah.
They are. Okay.
They are.
But there's no native mammals on this island.
No.
So seriously, this is absolutely insane. In all the places that I've been looking for boas, this was the one that I thought we weren't going to see them out here. But 1 in 2 minutes, I still have salt water in my eyes. I really can't see. But I'm going in for the easiest boa catch of my life. Just that easy. Come here. Hey, I said that easy. Come here. And just like that, we've got our first Hog Island boa. I have been dreaming about coming to this island most of my life to find my favorite boa species, and that is the Hog Island boa. To have this girl in my hands right now, this is beyond a dream come true. And one of the things that I love so much about these snakes are those muted colors that they have. And now these are boa imperator. These are not a separate species from those on the mainland. There's going to be a lot of work coming up on all of these insular boas, and this could be one day upgraded to its own species once that work is done. But right now, this is still boa imperator. But here on Hog Island, they are naturally hypomelanistic. And you can see those muted patterns, that muted color on that tail. This is about as big as they get out here. Hog Island boas do not get as big as they do on the mainland. And these are pretty much a dwarf boa out here. And these guys evolved on this island to eat birds and iguanas. There are no naturally occurring mammals on this island. Now there's rats, there's mice. Did you say that there's armadillo here?
Yep.
Now there's armadillo. My God, are you beautiful? And look at this. Hissed a little bit when I got her off that branch, but like other imperators that would bite your face off as soon as you approach them, look at this. She has stopped hissing. She has stopped any kind of defensive behavior. You can just absolutely free handle this snake without any worrying about being bit. And even if she did bite me, I wouldn't care. My first Hog Island boa on Hog Island in the wild. This is an absolute dream come true. So as Henry said, these guys are common. We've got several more days out here. I am sure that if this one was this easy to find, we're gonna find many more out here. Okay, sweetheart, back on your bamboo, right where we got you. There we go. Hopefully we're gonna see many, many more of these. Whew, absolutely unreal. look at this right over here off this branch. We've got another boa. Hi, buddy. He's at the end of his branch. Where are you gonna go? Here, let me offer you a limb. Look at this. These boas are so naturally docile. You walk up to an imperator like this anywhere on the mainland and you're gonna get your hand bitten off. Look at this. This is a wild boa we just walked up on, and I'm just putting my hand out and he's crawling up on my hand. These guys are so beautiful. Look at this guy. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna just get you out of here. Come here, sweetheart. Look at this. These are my favorite boas. They always have been. I just love that naturally hypomelanistic look. And there's a reason why these are naturally hypomelanistic. So in Spanish, the name of the snake is boa rosada, which translates to pink boa. And that comes from that pink coloration that they have along their flanks. Well, this is the second one we found out here. This one really doesn't have that pink flanks that we've seen in captive bred boas before, and there's a reason for that, and that's that these boas actually change colors depending on the time of day. So right now it's maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. We're out on our morning hike, and that's where we found this guy cruising along that branch, and that's how you find them. When they're found in situ, they are on the move, they are crawling across horizontal branches, and they're about 6 feet off the ground. And so when you're keeping these, you got to keep in mind that these are mainly arboreal snakes. So if you're keeping them in a 4-foot by 2-foot, that's not the right setup for one of these boas. You have to keep them in arboreal setups with a lot of sticks and a lot of places for them to climb and get off that ground. Generally speaking, the only time that they're going to be off the trees and on the ground is at night when they're moving from tree to tree. But if you look at the snake and compare it to imperators on the mainland, this is a very skinny, small snake. And that's because
So I do agree with the whole arboreal thing, because as soon as Summer wasn't motivated to climb in her 6x2x2, she started getting pretty chunky. And the ideal body condition, like I was saying, how they're square, they need climbing opportunity in order to develop those muscles. So it helps keep them square. Okay, that's the end of my comment.
they are primarily eating birds and they're eating lizards out here. There aren't a lot of mammals on this island. There are rats now that they are eating. There are bats here that there's really no evidence that they're actually eating those bats, but because of their diet, they are very small, very skinny. This is an adult. This is an adult. This is all the bigger they get. And if you look at that tail, it also has that diffused kind of pink look, but it doesn't look anywhere near what a mainland imperator looks like. So these boas, they kind of have a home range, but it's not like they're territorial, but where you see one, if you don't disturb it, you can come back a couple of days and it's going to stay in that area. So what we're gonna do with this right now is we're gonna put them right back on that branch. We're gonna come back up here tonight, see if we can see this snake and see if we can see the color changes that they go through from day into night. So now that it's night, we're gonna head out to the exact same spot where we released that one snake earlier this afternoon, and hopefully he's still in the area, and if he's not, then hopefully we find another one. But we're gonna head out. It's about to storm, so we want to get out before that storm. Quetzal is about 500 feet ahead of me, so I'm gonna get going here, and we're gonna hopefully find that exact same snake tonight. Look at this big dude, if he can sit still. That is a big old tarantula. Kind of looks like a rose hair, but I don't know that it is. All right, so here on the island, there are tons of these blue crabs just crawling all over the island. And right next to them is a gecko. And these crabs, they crawl through the leaf litter, and you always think it's a lizard or something. In this case, it actually is a gecko. But yeah, these crabs are everywhere on this island. And these geckos are too. This dove is literally just sitting right here. There's my flashlight. This is how boas get you. I wonder. Oh my God. He is totally letting me do this. Yeah, he took off. Wow. All right, so that's what boas are eating out here. I can't believe he actually let me do that. Did you find him? Yeah. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I disturbed him though, so.
Oh, he was sitting on this branch.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this is the same one from earlier, but it is one, obviously. He's trying to climb high, so I'm just gonna, come here, sweetheart, let me take a look at you. All right, well, I don't think we need to like grab him off of there if he wants to go, but what I did want to show is look at that. They become so bleached that those saddles kind of almost disappear in that ground color at night. So these snakes have completely different coloration at night than they do during the day. They're much more pale at night. And during the day, he'll be much darker, and those saddles will become much darker. But this is basically what these snakes look like at night, and they do, in fact, change color from daytime to nighttime. All right, happy hunting, buddy. All right, so while he's crawling away, this is a perfect place to take a temperature and a humidity reading. So right on this branch is where he was sitting before we disturbed him. So I'm gonna put the temperature and humidity probe right there on this branch. Let it sit there for a moment to get a accurate reading, and then we'll check this out. In the meantime, oh wow, look at this dude right here. Hiya, buddy.
Is that tarantula?
Yeah, it's a big tarantula. Another big tarantula just sitting right here. Wow, they grow their tarantulas big here on this island. Yeah. All right, so that should give this a good solid couple of minutes to give us a reading. But look at that, almost 87% humidity and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 26 degrees, almost 27 degrees Celsius. So it is really humid on this island, and even at night, it's really warm here. But this is the temperature and humidity where that snake was hanging out. All right, so right up there, we've got a boa on the move. All right, buddy, let's go. Come on, sweetheart. Beautiful. There you go. Look at this. Wow. All right, so we got him out of the tree, and this one is even more beautiful than the first one that we found. Right there on the tail, we've got a bit of a problem, and that little problem is probably causing a lot of discomfort. That is a big cattle tick, and we just grab them, pinch, and remove. There we go. See? Humans aren't so bad there, buddy. So we're actually gonna take this snake and do a little data on him in the morning, and then in the morning, after we're done with that, we're gonna take our photos, bring her, or him, as it were. I haven't even looked yet. Oh, that's a male. That's definitely a male. We will take this male right back here and release him right where we caught him. So we're going to do all sorts of things. We're gonna weigh him, take some length data, and again, we'll release him right back here in the morning. All right, very good. Now, how do we get off this mountain?
Yeah, go back.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good place to start. So the boas on this island are active all day long and all night long. They don't seem to have an active period like other mainland boas that are crepuscular, active during dawn and dusk. So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning right now. So I'm going to take a temperature and humidity reading right here in the morning when the boas are active during their crepuscular hours. Again, they're active during midday, they're active during night, but this is what the temperature and humidity is at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So look at that, 91% humidity at about 81.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 27.5 degrees Celsius. It is almost permanently in the low 80s Fahrenheit, but look at how that humidity shot up here in the morning. So as we're climbing here, I want to talk a little bit about this habitat that the Hog Island boas live in. So this is a Caribbean island, and therefore this is not a tropical rainforest like you find in the Amazon and in South America. This is a tropical dry forest, and the ground is very dry. It's made out of dirt and rocks, and the trees here are basically broadleaf trees. But you can see that we have palm trees in here, but the majority of this habitat are these broadleaf trees like this. But this is the substrate of the ground. It is just this kind of a clay, dirt, dry substrate with all of these dead leaves everywhere. It's called detritus when these dead leaves are on the ground like this. But this is basically the substrate of this island, and you can see that the color of the ground is gray because there's a lot of clay mixed in with all of this dirt in here. But this island is actually protected. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And basically, everything on the island is protected as well, which is a good thing. What do you see? Oh, an iguana. Oh, that was a basilisk. I just got a glimpse of him. Wow, there are a lot of basilisks and iguanas and other reptiles on this island. There are 10 species of reptiles on this island. And as I was saying, everything now on these islands is more or less protected. But it wasn't always that way. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, the boas on this island were almost collected to extinction, and it led to a wild rumor that this island was now devoid of these boas because they were over-collected, and for a while it was looking like that was going to be the case. But due to captive breeding initiatives, the demand for wild boas basically plummeted, and therefore what remaining boas were on this island, were left alone, and their population has rebounded. The boas today are pretty common on this island, but there's still a rumor out there that they don't exist. We've already proven that wrong. But if you look, we've got all of these vine systems that...
I love the shape of these vines. They're really neat. There's a couple plants that I could try to accomplish that with. Monstera, the Swiss cheese plant, Monstera, is a vining plant. So I could do that. I think what I will do is I might see what I can get off of Craigslist as far as like pre-grown Monstera. And I've got some logs that I'm sanding down. I'm a total creep. I've just been picking logs up off the side of the road. I've already got one in there that it's been dried. I've sanded it down completely. It's nice and soft. Looks very nice. I'm working on this next one, which is a bit thicker. It's going to be planted in the dirt. Probably going to plant it diagonally for her to get up into the canopy. I'll keep making some rope vines. And she needs a sky hide. I know she wants one. She spends so much time in her little basket that's hanging. I gotta think about a hotspot too. Can't really have plants in my hotspot. Gotta think about it.
Connect all of these trees here, and these vines are the superhighways not only for boas but all other animals that live here. And so when you see vines going up a tree like this, you got to stop and you got to look in every little nook and cranny, because you could see a boa coiled right within the nooks of one of these branches. So before humans brought rats to this island, there were no mammals on this island. There is no mammals that are native to the Hog Islands. And therefore, the boas adapted to eat nothing but birds and the Tenosaurus, the lizards, the spiny-tail iguanas that are around here. And that's why the Hog Island boa is smaller than the mainland boas that have everything in the world to eat. Out here, again, they were limited to lizards and birds, and therefore they simply didn't grow to the sizes that Imperator on the mainland grew to. But walking around this place, I am very curious as to why this population on this island became naturally hypomelanistic. And walking around this environment for the first time now, I can definitely see why they did that. So if you look at the color of this forest, at the color of the tree trunks, look at this. That tree trunk is various shades of gray. Over there, the same thing. Over there, the same thing. All these trees around here are different shades of gray with just maybe a splash of color in them. And so the boas who hunted birds needed to blend in to their surroundings. And therefore, like this tree, they turned lighter in color. They just evolved into a naturally hypomelanistic boa to basically disappear in plain sight within their environment. And their camouflage is so good that all they need to really do is sit coiled on a branch. Birds won't see them. They'll land right on the branch next to
You see how his tongue was purple?
the boa, and the boa gets a meal.
Come on.
They are
Do us another one.
masters of camouflage.
Yep, I missed it. Where'd he go?
plain sight within their environment, and their camouflage is so good that all they need to really do is sit coiled on a
You saw it, okay? You saw it. I know you saw it. It's a thing. They're so cute.
branch. Birds won't see them. They'll land right on the branch next to the boa, and the boa gets a meal. They are masters of camouflage out here. But as you look around this forest, there's two primary colors to this forest, gray and green. And therefore, again, the boas adapted this coloration, this hypomelanistic coloration, to completely blend in with their surroundings. So one of the locals here told us that on the other side of the island, there's a dried up waterfall, and he always sees boas there. So we're gonna get back on the boat. We're gonna drive to the other side of the island and climb this dried waterfall, and hopefully we're gonna see some boas there. He says that he sees a lot of them there. All right, that boat looks a lot further down there than it looks. Oh, success. All right, ready? All right, listo. So we made a little pit stop in this little community on the other side of the big island because there's no food on the other side of the island. So we're gonna load up on whatever we need in this town, but take a look at this. Somebody painted a sea turtle eating a plastic bag. And look at how they paint the houses here. They painted a big octopus on the side of that house. This is just incredible. So we just got lunch at this really amazing community. There's about 100 people that live on this island, but that community back there is one of the most incredible Caribbean communities I've ever been in. Okay, so this side of the island looks very, very different than the other side of the big island. This is pretty incredible in here. What happened? You got ants on you? Yeah. You got ants in your pants?
Nah.
Oh. I'll leave you to your friends there. All right. So this is a dry river area. We just climbed up the waterfall, and this is dry until about November when the wet season happens. And then we'd be under waist-high water right now. That'll wash the ants off your legs. All right, we may have a boa here. Up right above my head. Look at this. The chances of us walking right past this guy were like 90%. So he's about, I don't know, what would you say, about 8 feet off the ground there? Yeah. Oh, look at his tail though. We just found out there's two more of them sitting up that way. We're gonna see in a second, but the only reason why I'm going to disturb this one and take him off the tree is because he has a little issue with his tail that we're gonna help him out with. And I mean, look at that. No hissing, no biting, but look at his tail though. He has a bunch, I mean, something bit his tail, whatever. He's got a bunch of ticks in there. We're just going to help you out by getting rid of all this crap that you can't do yourself. You got a stuck shed there. But something bit this guy's tail off, and there was a bunch of ticks in that wound, so I just wanted to get him out of there. But look at how pale and beautiful this snake is. And again, this is an adult. This is all the bigger they get. I'm gonna put this guy back in the tree, and apparently there's a couple more up that way we're gonna go check.
I might have to get Summer's boyfriend from Hog Island genetics. Man, they're kind of cute. And she's a Sunglow Couche Pastel, which is it's not a very like common morph, and it's supposed to add pinks. And I'm willing to bet you that the pinks from the Couche Pastel are from Hog Island, because she's kind of peaked out at 6 foot, and she's a female, and the females get bigger than the males. So, but I mean, like, she's still gorgeous. I fucking love her so much.
Check out. But man, we thought there were a lot of boas on the other side of the island. Here in this dry riverbed, this place is crawling with boas. This is amazing. Look at this. Oh, and there's another one over there that Quetzal has. And look at this one right here. There's literally one right here, one over there with Quetzal. The one that we had was right back by those trees.
Y tenemos una de mayor tamaño enfrente. Ese es más grande.
Más grande al frente?
Sí.
Ooh, there's a bigger one up there somewhere. So he just saw a bigger one. Hey, How you doing there, Junior? Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go take a look at that one in a second, but look at this beautiful snake. But right over here, look at this. So this one is like maybe a foot off the ground, and just look at that. This is what I was talking about. They just completely blend in with their surroundings. All right, these boas are proving to be pretty common here.
He looks a little dehydrated. Kind of wrinkly.
Look at that. You can't tell where the stick ends and the snake starts. Well, you can sort of, but you understand what I'm saying. All right, so that is 3 boas in about 10 feet. One of them was about 8 feet off the ground. One of them was about a foot off the ground. The other one was about 6 feet off the ground. But there's a bigger boa right up here. This is, wow, this is the biggest one of the trip. Look at the black flecking on this one. This is a big, big female. This is a very good looking one. What's that? Otra? Oh, there's another one up there. Oh my.
Look at those freckles. Look at those freaking freckles. They're so cute. They are so cute. Like, what is this? What is this? This is adorable. It's like, in ball pythons, the banana morphs. They're like bananas. They get spotty the older they get. But those are really cute. Those are adorable. Look at all those spots. Damn. Okay.
Oh my God, this is insane. These boas are everywhere around here. Everywhere. So I just wanted to show just how beautiful these snakes can get and how big these snakes can get out here. This is the biggest one that we've found so far, but look at that black flecking all over the back of her body. This is basically max size for Wild Hog Island boas. This is considered to be a really big boa. And this black flecking on her body, like all the way down. We haven't seen this yet on any boas that we found here. So we are about to lose track of how many boas we've actually found on this island. So we found 3 back there, 4, and then 5 is up there that we haven't even seen yet. 2 on the other side of the island. Yeah, I think that we can put the idea that these snakes are extirpated off this island, or even rare on this island. We can put those rumors to bed right now. All right, sweetheart, we're just gonna put you right back here. There we go. Let her get on her way. See you later, sweetheart. Oh man, she nailed me good. She got me on that hand, and she got me way bad on that hand.
Hey, I'm not monetized. It shouldn't matter.
Look at that, now she's crawling across the ground, and she just doesn't want anything to do with us anymore. What an amazing boa. All right, so the 5th one, he saw way up on the top of this dry waterfall here, but it's gonna be hard to get up.
Look at the rock face here. This is good. Crevice. Lots of places for like little guys to hide.
This, because this is extremely slippery and that is my foothold, so I may bleed a little bit more climbing up of this. But at least I got a handle right here. Wait, no, that's not a handle. And then there's number 5 right over here. This is absolutely incredible. 5 within maybe 100 feet. Incredible. Look at this beauty sitting right here. Hay más? Oh, there's 6 sitting right over there. Oh my God, this is insane. But this one is just coiled. I'm not gonna handle this one. I'm not going to destroy.
Oh, it'd be super cool if if Xenia or Marzi kind of sounded like she was speaking some French. I'm not entirely sure. Please don't hate me. I should ask. But totally, like, I don't know. If you see it, leave me a comment on what they're saying. I know Mas. Mas is like more. And I know ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. Bye.
Disturb this one, but man, these guys are everywhere along this river. It's so great to see these guys making a comeback. Oh wow, it's another big one. She is chubby. She looks like she just had a meal too. Wow, number 6 in about 150 feet. And this one is, I would say, at least 8 feet off the ground, maybe more. What an amazing snake. These snakes have probably never encountered human beings before, and therefore, until you touch them, they don't know what you are, and therefore they have no fear.
There's another one here.
There's another one over there. That's insane. Number 7 right over there. And here, right in this bush right here, is number 7. And she's sitting right under the cover of these leaves, and she's either basking and digesting a meal, or she's in ambush mode. But again, we're gonna leave these last few snakes exactly how we find them so that we don't disturb them too much. But that is number 7. That's insane. So you've traveled the world like I have. Have you ever experienced anything like this before?
This is definitely up there with the top moments. I mean, I've seen a lot, I've been a lot of places, but you know, literally pulling boas, seeing boas left and right up this stream bed is a moment to remember.
This is, yeah, this may be the most amazing herpetological moment of my life. When we came to this island, I was worried that we were going to come all the way out to this island to discover that, yes, in fact, they are extirpated. They're no longer here on this island. 7 of them in about 300 feet. That just blows me away. That completely exceeded my expectations. I couldn't have dreamt for a scenario like this. They are most definitely not extirpated off this island.
At Dubia.com, they raise all their quality insects in
It's like Funk Friday. It's like Funk Friday.
I know my man can't watch this right now because he's alone at work and really busy, but I'm gonna shout out to him anyways because I love him. I love you, man. Please don't leave me. I'm working on it. I promise. Flat Fuck Friday. Let's give one more for my man. One more Flat Fuck Friday for Grant.
It's like Funk Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Funk Friday. It's like Funk Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Funk Friday. It's like Funk Friday, you fucking losers. It's like Funk Friday. It's like Funk Friday, you fucking.
I don't know if that worked or not. I have no idea. I don't know what it's gonna look like. So we're just gonna push play now.
in-house and ship them
Maybe.
directly to you. And now you can get character morphs to choose from. They have everything you're looking for from the beginning. Name for really any red-tailed boa, especially the imperator. But do those snakes actually come from Colombia, or have we just gotten so used to calling them Colombian red-tailed boas that we think that all boas that we work with came from Colombia? So to answer that question, I hopped a plane and headed to South America to see what imperator actually looks like on the east side of Colombia. And while I'm there, I'll go to the west side of the country, deep into the Amazon, to look into the differences between the Colombian imperator and the true red-tailed boa constrictor.
So we just landed here in Bogota, Colombia. From here at the airport, we've got a 3-hour drive to the town of Melgar, and it's there that we have a really good shot of finding the true Colombian boa. As soon as the ride gets here, I have no idea where he is.
So, as I've mentioned, Colombia is one of those countries where you can find boa imperator and boa constrictor in the same country. So, with boa imperator being on the west side of the Andes and boa constrictor being on the east side, the Amazon side, our first destination was west of the Andes to venture deep into the range of boa imperator. The habitat of boa imperator is found in tropical dry forests that are higher in elevation and much more rocky and sparsely vegetated than their boa constrictor cousins live in.
So this is the habitat of the Colombian boa, the common boa, boa imperator, here in the western side of Colombia. And we're in the middle of this unbelievably beautiful rainforest, and we are in the middle of nowhere right now. The nearest town is probably Melgar, but boas are primarily nocturnal. They are crepuscular, but they are also found out in the daytime. And there's a lot of houses back here, a lot of rural houses. And I was told that, you know, the people just kind of hang out in their hammocks and, well, here comes a 6-foot boa walking. Good, Dave, good. Here comes a 6-foot boa crawling, and the people won't even pay attention to it because they're that common here. It's a common everyday sight. During the day, at night, in the evening, in the mornings, boas are everywhere here. So we're gonna take some time and go through this forest, which is one of the most beautiful habitats I've been in, and we're gonna see if we can find one of those Colombian boas out here. First, this tree behind me, take a look. That is cacao. This is a chocolate tree. And that's what they make chocolate out of. So when these pods turn either yellow or red, they are ripe. You just take these pods, crack them open, and suck on those seeds, and that seed is what they make chocolate out of. All right, so I'm moving on from the chocolate tree. Apparently, I've fallen behind, which means everybody's lost but me. So when you have open areas like this, these grassy open areas in the middle of a jungle like this, these are snake magnets because they provide the cover that the snake wants to feel comfortable. Sunshine penetrates, and that is what we are going to be targeting when we look for these boas. So far in this movie, I've been to Mexico, been to Honduras, now Colombia. This is one of the most beautiful habitats I've ever been in, but it is about 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 100% humidity. And when you couple the air temperature with that humidity, the heat index is well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in here. So it is just a sweltering hot jungle. All right, we are gonna work our way up this way. These are extremely slippery rocks. Oh, holy crap. Look at that. Wow. All right, guys, so as amazing as this habitat is, we just got a call from a friend of ours, and they have a big female boa that is just sitting in a city park that they're holding for us. So we've got to get out of the...
Is that a ripe cacao? Go back, Dave. You found one. Go back. Also, whatever these are, I love the ferns here. I love the moss on the wall. I don't know if I can replicate it.
All right, guys. So as amazing as this habitat is, we just got a call from a friend of ours, and they have a big female boa that is just sitting in...
There it is! Look! Look, he found one! Okay. I'm gonna shut up now.
City park that they're holding for us, so we've got to get out of this habitat. But when I said that boas are extremely common here, they're found in this kind of habitat, which is where you kind of expect to look for them, but they're also found in people's backyards, they're found in city parks, they're found mainly around human habitation. So we are going to get out of this habitat, we're going to get into the car, we're going to...
Should have a cacao counter for this section of the video. That'd be fucking hilarious. I don't know how to do that, but I should learn. Okay.
Drive to this park, and that's one of the ways that you find boas out here, is you just basically send out the word to all your friends and all their friends that we're looking for boas. Eventually, one of them's going to call you and tell you that they've got one. All right, guys, so here's this boa that was just found in this park, and oh, wait till you see this. So this is a big female imperator. It was just found in this park. They called our guide Maldonado, and they said, get over here, we just found this massive female. And this is a wild snake. There's a reason why she's coiled like this, and it's not a good one. So this is obviously a gravid snake. Here, sweetheart, I'm just gonna do this. Thank you. So this is a gravid snake, gravid meaning pregnant, but being a wild snake, they are prone to so many injuries out here. And when we're in a park like this, you know, they encounter a lot of people out here, and those people, well, they're not very friendly to wild snakes. So I'm just gonna keep her propped up on my leg here, but take a look at this. She's constricting my arm, but she's not carrying on like a wild imperator because she's injured. Now this is a gravid female, and what they think happened is that her ribs are broken. She probably encountered a human out here that injured her, or there's a lot of hazards out here. It might not have been a human, but the problem is that her ribs are obviously hemorrhaged, and these are babies. This isn't a growth. Those are babies that are basically protruding out of her rib cage and are being held just by her skin there. So this is a wild imperator, but it's an injured one. And there's a vet clinic here right next to this park. And so I'm accompanied with a couple of the vets, and they came down to see this snake as well. And they're going to take this snake and they're going to see what they can do for her. And after her litter is born, that's when it's going to be dangerous, because those babies that are protruding out of that rib cage, I'm really not sure how that's going to go when she actually gives birth to those babies. But take a look at how colorful this snake is. This snake is, again, right out of the wild. It was just found this morning and held until we got here. But look at how this blue sheen. I've never seen Colombian boas have this kind of blue sheen like this before. But obviously, this is my first wild Colombian boa, and this is my first time getting a good look at how they look here in Colombia. And I am so surprised to that blue sheen that they have. I didn't expect that from a wild Colombian imperator. But take a look at this head markings here. And this is one of the diagnostic features that is the difference between boa imperator and boa constrictor. So the fact that this girl is not acting like an imperator, this girl should be striking at me, mouth open. I'm barely holding her head here. So this snake is in kind of rough shape. If she was in really good shape, she'd be trying to bite my face off right now. But one of the things that I noticed in this is that when we see Colombian boas in the pet trade, you know, they have these huge saddles. And look at the saddles on this girl. Come here, sweetheart. Can I move you over here real quick? Look at the saddles. The saddles are broken along the back here. And that is really something kind of surprising to see in a wild imperator. But right now, we've got a crowd of people here that are at the park. And right over there, we've got our vets, and they're gonna take this snake and they're gonna take it back to the clinic and care for this snake until she has her babies. And hopefully the snake is gonna be totally fine. So the problem is, we're in a park right now that's visited by a lot of people. So the question is, what do they do with this snake after it has its babies? Do they bring it back out here, which is its natural habitat, or do they take it somewhere else and relocate it away from people? And that's a decision they're gonna have to make later. But my first wild Colombian boa, boa imperator, here in this little town, we're about...
I love their little head boobs. Head boobs. That's what they are. They're head boobs. They're soft and squishy. You can squish them and pet them and they're soft. I love the head boobs.
Maybe about a 5-hour drive west of Bogota. So we are on the western side of Colombia where imperators are found. And then on the other side of the Andes, as I explained, that's where we're going to find the boa constrictor.
Also, no, I think the one of the differences that you can tell between imperator and constrictor is that the imperator has, like he's talking about, these broken saddles. There's a variation in the way that they look between the species. One of them has saddles that look like Batman. That's what I remember from the other video. But yeah, anyways.
True red-tailed boa, and that's where we're going in just a few days. But we've got a few days on this side of the country. Hopefully, we're gonna find another one of these imperators. But man, that blue-gray sheen is just absolutely beautiful. This is a much more beautiful animal than I am used to seeing in the pet trade and other imperators that are called Colombian boas. And the problem is that in the pet trade, it doesn't matter if that imperator is found in Mexico or Guatemala or Costa Rica. Once they get into the pet trade, they're instantly called Colombian boas or Colombian red-tailed boas. And so I wanted to come to this place in Colombia specifically to see a wild imperator, to see how different they look from the snakes that we generally think of as Colombian boas. And again, not all common boas or boa imperator are from Colombia. They're called Colombian boas, but they don't necessarily come from this region in Colombia, and that's why this imperator looks so different from the ones we're used to seeing.
Such a gorgeous, gorgeous snake. All right, we're gonna let the vets do their magic with her. Hopefully she's gonna be just fine. But again, look at how calm and docile this snake is. And it's because she's injured, and that really is kind of heartbreaking. All right, you're gonna be well taken care of from here, sweetheart.
So, leaving our injured Imperator in good hands, our time in the western half of Colombia has come to an end. So we boarded a plane that took us to the extreme southern region of the country to an area known as the Three Frontiers, where Colombia, Brazil, and Peru meet in this extremely remote area of the Amazon. Once we landed in Leticia, we were greeted at the airport by what I assume is a statue of me, even though I've never been here before. Wow, that is much appreciated, Leticia. From the airport, it was only about a 30-minute drive to a spot deep in the Amazon rainforest that would become our base camp for the duration of our stay. It had been a few years since I was in the Amazon, and looking out at the amazing views that make this area of the world so unique, it was almost just like coming home. Well, until this happened.
All right, so we've made it to somewhere in the jungle. We're in a taxi, and the taxi is now stuck in the mud, and we got to push. So this is what's happened, is this is a tiny little narrow road, and this guy's coming this way, our taxi's coming this way, and we've got a little Mexican standoff going on here. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, look at that. That's a big old divot. Oh, and I'm squishing down in that. Damn, this is a muddy damn place. Okay, so this guy's gonna back up, and no, he's not.
This is hilarious.
All right, I guess we walk from here. In this bag right here is like 50 pounds of camera gear and a change of undies. I'm glad this is here. Whoops. Ugh. But yeah, we've got about 5 miles of this to walk through the jungle before we get to our accommodations.
Look at these silly white monkeys. These silly white monkeys in the jungle.
Here. All right, the funny thing is the guy in the green shirt right there is our taxi driver. He just abandoned our taxi back there just to piss those guys off because they were really grumpy and, well, really assholey. We have finally made it to the middle of the Amazon rainforest here in Colombia, and this is going to be our home for the next 8 nights while we explore this forest and try our best to find boa constrictor out here, the true red-tailed boa. This is its habitat. This is where it is. We could hike miles into the jungle and find one. We could find one right here, right at base camp, but we are surrounded by just this absolute pristine and beautiful rainforest. But now that we're situated here in our rainforest home, I'm wasting no time to get out there into the jungle and show you guys the environment where the boa constrictors live here in this part of Colombia. About maybe 15 kilometers behind me is the actual Amazon River. And this is the Amazon Basin, and we're about 16 meters above sea level here. So when you hear the word Amazon Basin, it actually is a basin, and that's why it's so unbelievably hot and humid in this environment. But this environment is absolutely beautiful and incredible, but it's also extremely dangerous. So if you look around the environment here in the Amazon rainforest, it is basically perma-wet. It rains almost every single day here, and the ground...
What are we seeing as far as plants here? We got some kind of fern. I have no idea what that is.
is always wet, but
Yeah, lots of leaf litter. And I'm planning on putting some, I think they call it bonsai clay. I'm gonna mix some bonsai clay into my soil for my, oh, what are they called? I know what they're called. I'm having an absolute brain fart. They're roly-polies, for my roly-polies. Sure, we'll call them that. That's what they are. But yeah, there's some trails. Definitely lots of leaf litter. Lots of leaf litter. I can't even, yeah. And I don't know what these plants are. I wish I knew. If anybody has any ideas, tell me.
Boas could be hunting all through this area, and this forest
These little... What is this plant?
provides them with everything they need. There are so many small mammals here. There are agouti, which are small little deer-like animals, and that's what the adults are eating out here. But the trees are covered with Amazon rats, other marsupials like opossums, and that's what these boa constrictors are feasting on out here. And there is a ton of food out here for them. And although just down over to my left over there is a river where anacondas have been spotted in the past, up here in the forests, the boa constrictor, when it comes to snakes, is the top predator in this forest. There are no snakes that get as big as the boa constrictor does in this environment, other than, of course, the anacondas. But we've all heard how hot and humid it is here in the Amazon rainforest. And unless you are here in this environment and feeling just how thick this air is, you don't really get a good idea of just how soupy it is. It's very difficult to breathe.
So in order to get this humidity in my enclosure, I've got a grow tent right now. She has a very large basin tote for all of her stuff, for her water. Excuse me, is what I meant. Why am I 306? What the fuck happened? Hold up, I gotta take some insulin. That's ridiculous. I don't understand why. That shouldn't be happening. Y'all, diabetes sucks ass. Sucks monkey ass. Now I gotta look at my graph. Hold on. 9 a.m. Counted my carbs. It was like 68. But that doesn't make any sense to me. None at all. I'm gonna have to just stop using my abdomen for spot. What was I doing? I was doing something. There's something I was doing, and I had a point. I think I was telling you guys about the. I'm gonna have an irrigation system, so I've got it set up. I've got one of those extra large cement mixing tubs. I'm gonna set it up in her enclosure. It's gonna have like 5-10 gallons of water in it. And then we got some cement blocks to lift up a bog filter. So her main basin tub is going to have a pump that pumps the water up into this bog filter at the bottom of it. So all the water filters up through gravel. And then, so I've got gravel out. I'm going to have activated carbon. I'm going to have plants in the bog filter. I've got a couple that I'm trying to keep alive until then. But basically what all that is going to do is it's going to keep the water clean. So as it comes out of that bog filter, there's not going to be any debris in it. The plants are going to get rid of any nitrates. And it'll be basically continuous fresh water on top of water changes that I will, of course, be doing. So that's my plan. I think I said irrigation system, but I'm planning on having an irrigation system. So I'm gonna have tubing that takes water to all of the spots where my plants are. So there will be water all the time. I got a waterproof. I have a pond liner in the bottom of the tent. I've thought about this.
Breathing in this hot, heavy, soupy air. And so when it comes to keeping these boas at home, you know, we really often don't give them the humidity that they so require. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of keepers are doing. And
in her old enclosure, I had it set up bioactive and it had a pool in it. The pool is 8 gallons and then it pumped the water into a 15-gallon sump to filter it. And then it pumped the water back through a waterfall. And she fucking loved it. She loved it so much she broke the basin. So water started leaking everywhere. I had to take it out. I had a point with that. Oh, yeah, the point was that it made the enclosure super humid. So the humidity was like 80% up all the time. I haven't been able to replicate that as well. So that's why I'm going with the extra large water basin with the bog filter. So I'll have water movement, there'll be evaporation. It'll be great.
So I'm going to take a couple of temperature readings here to show just how hot and humid it is. Now, it seems really dark in here, but it's maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's all because of that canopy right there. That canopy lets in very little daylight down to the surface here. But it's on the surface and in vine systems like this where you're going to find those boas. So I'm going to take a temperature reading right here. And I'm just going to let that cook for a little bit to get a really accurate reading. Look at that, 94% humidity at 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 27.7 degrees Celsius. That is really hot and humid. But when you have such high temperatures and high humidity, you have something called the heat index. And the heat index is what the air temperature actually feels like. So right now, it feels like it's about 115 degrees Fahrenheit out here. This is one of my favorite environments to explore in the world, but it also is the toughest environment to negotiate and to navigate, especially when you're trying to find the hide-and-seek champions of nature out here. So here in the Amazon, boas are mainly crepuscular, which means that they're active during dawn and dusk, but they can be out cruising during the middle of the day like this. They can also be cruising around at night in the middle of the night. So there isn't one really good time to be out here to look for boas.
Boas do what they want.
Basically, mornings and evenings are the best time to find them.
Holy shit, I would like to draw attention to the left side of the screen where the trees are weaponized. Those look terrifying. Holy crap. Look at those. They have swords on them. I don't see as many vines. It doesn't look like the canopy's as connected as on the other side of the island. That's my only other observation aside from these fucking murder trees.
There's a new reptile expo on the scene, and it's one you absolutely have to check out. The All-American Reptile and Plant Expo is not only a huge reptile expo, there's thousands of reptiles here, from the most recognizable breeders in reptile breeding to those who are just starting out as well. And there's also plants, so go nuts. Get everything you need to build a terrarium in one place. And yeah, we'll be at almost every one, so come up and say hi. To check out the cities and dates of the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo, check the link in the description below. So at night...
Well, shit, hold on a second. This came out like 2 months ago. Oh, it's not that old. It's not that old. Look at that. Okay, hold up. Morph Market, Dubia.com, Snake Country, All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. Use Rattle On to get 10% off your ticket today. Okay, let's send this to chat. Hold on. Where is chat? Chat's here somewhere. There's chat. Okay, let's go, chat. All-American Reptile and Plant Expo. Here's 10% off your ticket. I have, an error occurred. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? No, I want that. What the hell? Hold up. We will get this. We will get this thing here. It's right here. Hold up. I'm working on it. Here we go. Okay, there it is. Oh, okay. Let's try that again. Okay. Copy. Paste. Chat. Pog champ. Where's Pog? I love Pog. Can't find Pog. Whatever. Okay, there's the link. Super cool. I'm gonna check that out sometime.
Nighttime, this is what the temperature and the humidity is for your night drops. Look at that. It is still 94, almost 95% relative humidity at 76 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 24.7 degrees Celsius.
it is still humid here in the middle of the night. It's probably maybe midnight, I would say, but it is still 94% humidity and 76 degrees Fahrenheit. It is perma-wet and always humid here in the rainforest.
Oh, I love this. I forgot to turn my mic off. I'll have to check that. You have to figure out how to check that more often. Need to be more aware. Look at all the holes in the leaves. You can tell these are older ones. Lots of food for isopods.
All right, so this is day number 8 that we have been out here in the Amazon. We are tired, but we still haven't found the boa yet, and I am not leaving Colombia until I find the true Colombian red-tailed boa. We have made it to this place here in the rainforest. I mean, look at this. Look at this tree behind me. So our guide has been asking the locals where they have seen the most boas, and they said right here in this forest. This is our last shot after 8 days to find the true red-tailed Colombian boa. Right there, guys. Oh, look at that. That is not a very big one, but oh my God, after 8 days, we have finally found one. Hi. Oh, look at that. I'm going in for the catch. Look at how beautiful that snake is, though. All right, so when I go herping, I never, come on. I don't bring hooks with me. I don't bring sticks with me. I'm gonna get bit by this snake, but I just don't like to carry them. It's okay, sweetheart. Coil, coil, coil. There you go. There you go. There you go. But I just don't like to carry them with me. It's a lot of stuff to carry. I'm carrying all my camera gear with me. And when I find a snake, I kind of wish that I would have brought them. But I guys, after 8 days, we have finally found the Colombian true red-tailed boa. And she is, oh, there she goes. Now she's getting surly. Now she's acting like a boa. I expected her to rear up and just tag me as soon as I touched her, which still could happen. But I'm gonna try to control her head here. And you know, when I herp, there's plenty of sticks in the forest. Oh yeah, there's plenty of sticks in the forest that I can very safely just kind of pin their head down and pick them up like this. And I don't need to carry a bunch of equipment with me, but
It's not recommended that like beginners start out with that hold. That's not the best hold. You're definitely probably gonna get bit at some point. But yeah, if you're a beginner, you start with like just a tail hold. You don't go for the head. Please don't do that.
oh my God, you're beautiful. So this is the true Colombian red-tailed boa. This is boa constrictor. The Suriname red-tailed boas have the reputation of being the most beautiful natural morph of boa constrictor. But this one, oh my God, this one is absolutely flawless and beautiful. Look at the salmon coloration on that face and that salmon coloration on that body. The Suriname boas are the ones that are really known for having that really rich salmon color. But this is not at all what I expected to come here to Colombia and find it this beautiful and this flawless. So I mentioned before when we were on the other side of Colombia and we found that imperator, that the Colombian boa in the pet trade, it doesn't matter if they're found in Mexico or Central America or here in Colombia. In the pet trade, they are simply called Colombian red-tailed boas, and that is not true. This is a Colombian red-tailed boa. So when you hear, I have a Colombian boa, what they have is an imperator that could have come from Central America, it could have come from Ecuador, it could have come from here in Colombia. And I'll tell you that of all the morphs that we have, 95 to 99% of those morphs are imperator. There are very few different color morphs of the true redtail, of boa constrictor. When you go to an expo and you see all the morphs of all those boas, 95% of those are all imperator. And I don't think that there's even been an albino boa constrictor found in the wild yet. Comment below and let me know if I'm right or wrong on that. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is the culmination of 8 days out here in Colombia. But when you come out here on an expedition to find both the imperator and the boa constrictor, and you're spending all of this time coming up empty-handed and you finally find what you're looking for, there is no other feeling in the world like this. You are the most beautiful, beautiful snake. But if you're wondering, what is the difference? What are some of the diagnostic differences between boa imperator and boa constrictor? These are those differences.
So first of all, there's body size. Generally speaking, boa constrictor are generally larger than boa imperator, and boa constrictor will have 14 to 22 saddles, and it will have a larger scale count than imperator does, while imperator will have 22 to 30 saddles, or bow ties as they're sometimes called. Then look at their heads. Boa constrictor will have a flatter and more, which basically is the best distinction between the two. Imperator will have a kind of a muddy color to their tails with very little red, very little oranges, very little color to that so-called red tail, while the boa constrictor tail is high contrast and very brightly colored with a dark, rich red color.
So those are the differences between boa imperator and boa constrictor. So this has been one amazing adventure here in Colombia. I came down here with...
Notice how this is a snake that he pissed off. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I saw him pick up another one, but this is the one he pissed off. And now it's like it's chilling out and checking out the camera. It's doing these long tongue flicks, meaning it's like curious. It's pretty cool.
The expectation to find both the imperator on the western side of the country and here in the Amazon on the southeastern side of the country to find the true red-tailed boa, the boa constrictor. Mission accomplished. We're going to take about 1 million photos of this girl, and we are going to send her right back to Colombia. And our adventure here in South America doesn't end here in Colombia. From here, we're heading over to Suriname to see how Suriname boas actually look in the wild.
On this expedition to Suriname, I was joined by good friends Amy Benzie, Amy Bentley, and Bob Bledsoe from Green Room Pythons.
Hey, Bob. Welcome to Suriname. Welcome to Suriname, Dave. Welcome to Suriname. All right.
I came here to investigate how the import and export business of boas is conducted, but first we headed to a port on the Quarantine River that borders Suriname and Guyana to see if we could first find the Suriname boa in the wild.
So the best way to find the Suriname boa here in Suriname is to get on this river, get on this boat right there, and head 4 hours up this river, the Quarantine River. I'm standing on the Suriname side. That shore over there is Guyana. We are going to be camping in the middle of the rainforest for an entire week, cut off from everything. No internet, no cell service, nothing. And it's the best shot we've got of seeing a Suriname boa out here.
That's so cool. I want to go do that. That would be dope. I'm gonna grab that job. I'm gonna nail that job and do a great job. I'm gonna keep it. Gonna make lots of money. And then with that money, I'm gonna get training. Okay, I'm gonna get my venomous handler's license. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get a biology degree, and I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do this shit. Okay, just give me some time.
I'm Amy, and that boat's named after me. This particular camp has a beautiful rocky area. Instead of just thick forest and dirt and mud and sand, it has rocks with the water may not be running through it right now because of the El Nino, but we will still have some nice swamps, but lots of fresh water right on the river.
All right, we're loading up. That is how we are going to get dinner every single night. Whatever is out there, that's what we eat. Oh, dude, you stepped right where I'm about to put my butt.
That was my point.
Oh. All right, so we're all loaded up. Now it's just a 4-hour boat ride up the river.
Got another like 24 minutes left in this. I might go the whole time, and then we'll do an intermission, and from there, I think we're gonna look at what species might be suitable to go into the tent this summer. So we'll be looking at morph market. That's exciting.
All right, so we're in a part of the river right now that's extremely dangerous. There are all these rocks around it, and of course you can see the ones over the surface. You can't see the ones under the surface, and they are...
Okay, hear me out. Oh, what's the guy's name? Hazen Audell, who does Primal Survivor. He did a Crossing the Amazon series, and it was really good. But like his thing was, he got there like right as the rainy season was starting, so he gets to see all these boulders while the river is like super low. So it's a lot of boulders, and they're huge.
Just under the surface, and if we hit one of them, this is a wood bottom boat, and those rocks are gonna just rip right through the bottom of this wood boat, and then we go swimming.
Not over here. I got a tunnel from here to north. You don't get in there. Anyway, you know your thing.
So we made it 8 hours down the river to this place right here. This is the habitat of the red-tailed boa here in Suriname. This is the worst drought that this area has experienced in 150 years. Look at this, right over there. That's a semi-permanent pond, and it is completely dry. Oh, this is just amazing. I've never seen anything like this in a rainforest. We've come all this way to be stuck in a drought, and because
We believe in climate change on this channel.
because of the drought, it is unseasonably hot as well. This tropical rainforest here in South America has essentially been turned into a desert. Boy, oh boy. And listen, sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes through all your planning, through all your best efforts, this is nature we are dealing with here, and, well, nature does whatever it wants. It doesn't care about your agenda. It doesn't care if you want to find a boa out here. It does exactly what it wants to do. And we are just left to make the best out of it. And in the wet season, I should be walking through about knee-high water right now, and there should be boas all over the place here. Maybe not all over the place, but certainly this is the prime habitat for those boas. And I feel like I'm standing in a desert here. We may have to very quickly switch our strategy here.
There's a new reptile expo on the scene, and it's one you absolutely have to check out. The All-American Reptile and Plant Expo is not only a huge reptile expo, there's thousands of reptiles here, from the most recognizable breeders in reptile breeding to those who are just starting out as well. And there's also plants, so go nuts. Get everything you need to build a terrarium in one place. And yeah, we'll be at almost every one, so come up and say hi. To check out the cities and dates of the All-American Reptile and Plant Expo, check the link in the description below.
Sometimes you go 8 hours down the river by boat, go to the middle of the rainforest in order to see boas in the wild, and wind up not wasting our time. We found a lot of great stuff out there, but we didn't find the boa that I was looking for, the Suriname boa out there. But we had to change our kind of strategy here. And now I'm in a small little village right along the river, and it's here that there's a couple of middlemen between the hunters who go out into the field to gather the snakes and collect the snakes. They bring them to this village to a couple of middlemen here. Those middlemen then sell them to exporters in Paramaribo. And Kurt, who's one of those middlemen, lives in this village, and he just told us that last night he got in a couple of boas and invited us over to take a look. All right, so this is Kurt's place, and this is where the snakes are kept that are ready to go to the exporter. They're kept in boxes like this. And Kurt told me that our big boa is in this one right here. The big boa that we're about to see here.
Yeah.
What do you get for a big boa like that?
450 only.
450?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
really don't care to buy it. I bought it because you guys
So that's
asked me.
$12.50.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Like this. And
They're gonna
Kurt
show
told
some cool
me
shit.
that
Hold
our
on.
big boa is in this one right here. The big boa that we're about to see here.
Yeah.
What do you get for a big boa like that?
450 only.
450?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but-
really don't care to buy it. I bought
Yeah.
it because you
So
guys
that's $12.50.
Yeah. I bought it because you guys asked me for
Yes,
big snakes,
thank
so I
you.
bought it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So a big boa like that is $12.75 US.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I think I just set the curve of the market at Tinley this year.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I want to say something that might not have anything to do with what you're talking about right now or your video, but I think it's important for your video.
Bob Bledsoe from Green Room Pythons. Tell me what's on your mind.
This is really important. I just ran my hand through my beard after working with snakes, and then I smelled my hand and realized that my hand has been musked on. People with beards, be careful when you're dealing with wild snakes that you don't run your musky hands through your beard. It's
Bob,
so annoying.
This is like day 10 of our trip. We've been primitive camping in the wilderness.
I know.
We've been all over this country.
First time, I just did it for the first time.
But I want to just tell you that your beard always smells that way.
Oh, it does. Oh, it always smells like snake musk. Oh, no problem then. Okay, no problem.
All right, let's meet our big boa here. There she is. God, is she beautiful. Hi down there. This snake is going to be very agitated right now. Look at her look up at me like that. She is not a happy camper right now, but all right, sweetheart, we're gonna get you out of that box. Come on out here, sweetheart. Come on out. Oh yeah, she is all sorts of surly. Okay, come on, sweetheart. This snake is super surly. We're gonna put her right over here on the ground. Oh-wee! Look at this. This snake is not an aggressive snake, even though it's carrying on like this. Snakes are not naturally aggressive.
This is important. Listen up.
Snakes are reactionary. And right now, this snake has gone through an ordeal. Between the time that the hunters grabbed the... Woo! Between the time that the hunters got this snake, brought it to the middleman here, this snake is a very stressed out snake. So this snake thinks that I'm a predator. It is going to defend itself vigorously, just like all boas do. Wild boa constrictors are not like the boas we all know and love. Come here, sweetheart. In our homes, wild boa constrictors, they have this attitude. They do not like to be disturbed, and they will defend themselves vigorously against all threats, and that's what this snake is doing right here. But in a minute, hopefully, this snake is going to realize that it's not under attack, and it's going to sit there so nicely, aren't you, sweetheart? So Suriname is on the east side of the Andes. And all boas, all red-tailed boas on the east side of the Andes are going to be boa constrictor, true red-tailed boas. On the west side of the Andes, they're going to be boa imperator. But what I want you to notice is that even in an adult Suriname red-tailed boa, just look at how clean this pattern is, how beautifully maroon that tail is, and look at those rich salmon sides. So when boa constrictors are babies, they are brightly colored, high contrast, they are beautiful. But the Suriname boa is known for keeping those juvenile colors into adulthood. They don't brown out, they don't dull out, they keep those beautiful colors. This guy stays beautiful all your life, don't you? Look at those perfectly thin, uniform saddles on her back. And look at the way she strikes at me. Just beautiful. Now, we've got a bit of a conundrum. The export system is going to be pretty difficult on a snake this size. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy this snake from Kurt. And we're going to go someplace outside of the ring around this community where the hunters go. We're going to take her outside that ring, and we're going to release her back into the wild to save her from going through the export system. But this is the snake that everybody wanted back in the 90s, before the morphs, the Suriname boa. And this, you are the reason why I came all the way to Suriname to find this beautiful snake. Come here a little closer. Yeah, let's get acquainted. Here, let me just, there you go. There you go. We're fine. We're all good. We're all friends. So we're gonna take you and we're gonna give you a whole new home and a whole new chance at a brand new life. Such an amazingly beautiful boa. All right, Kurt, let's discuss the price. So that kind of raises an interesting point about the exportation and importation of reptiles. The people that set the market are us by demand. If our demand for redfoot tortoises or rainbow boas or emerald tree boas decreases, they are not going to go out and hunt for those snakes and export those snakes because the demand caused by us has decreased. So in the controversy of exportation or importation, we are actually the ones who are controlling that based on what we demand. And that is kind of the yin and yang of the exportation. Yes, these animals are caught in the wild. They are put into wooden boxes with just a little bit of water. They're never fed. They are then shipped hours down the river, hours down the road to Paramaribo. The exportation is really hard on snakes. But on the other hand, exportation brings new blood into our captive breeding initiatives. It brings new genes into the genetic pool that we are currently working with. So yes, there is a light and a dark, a yin and a yang to the exports of boas and other reptiles out here. So yes, there is a lot of controversy to this subject, but what's the balance? So one of the reasons why boas live in little villages like this as opposed to living out in the rainforests is because, let's face it, humans are very messy. We leave food laying around, we leave garbage laying around, which does provide cover for a lot of animals, including rodents. So wherever there's humans, there's gonna be a lot of rodents. And those rodents, of course, attract snakes. And that's why snakes are so commonly seen around human habitations. And unfortunately, a lot of those snakes are killed or collected for exportation, and we plant crops that further attract a lot of rodent species and therefore, again, attracting a lot of snake species. So the hunters that go out into the field to collect all the snakes for these middlemen, they do not go far outside of the limits of this village to find those snakes. So it's a couple of days later after we've gone to the other side of the country and we are at another exporter's place. They have this big old boa for us to take a look at. All right, sweetheart, let's get you out and take a look at you. This is another Suriname boa, and these guys are kind of cranky, but we're gonna take them out and we're gonna take a look. Look at that big boy. This really demonstrates how big these snakes can get. This is just a big girl. He's got the ticks and everything on him, but look at that. No hissing, no carrying on yet. But as they get older, you can see that those really amazing saddles that a Suriname boa has, you can see that they kind of get a little darker, and the red in the tail, oh, here we go. And the red in the tail gets a little bit more dull, but as far as boas are concerned, still has an amazing red tail. So this is probably a 6-footer. And it's just an amazingly strong animal. And I'm just gonna let you go here, and we're just gonna corral you with the stick. You're being very, very good, but look at this. This can be the difference between boas. This one is looking me over, and he's making that S-shaped curve, but this one just kind of wants to go on his way. Not hissing, not carrying on like other boas. This is just a big, beautiful boa. There we go. Ow, stop it. So, as you see, she just bit me, but it was a leave me alone bite. It wasn't an aggressive bite. Nothing even happened. She didn't even break the skin on my leg. That was just a, I don't like what you're doing bite, and she really could have done some damage to me just there, but she didn't. So boas, just like people, they have personalities. Each one is different. Each one has a different personality. But again, this is what Suriname boas look like as adults. Look at that red and black coloration of that tail. But if you look on her back, you can see those saddles stay really clean as an adult.
You see the Batman thing that he was talking about at some point? Little Batmans.
And this is why Suriname boas. And this is exactly why Suriname boas are so sought after and so prized, because they retain that really clean pattern. This is an absolutely amazing specimen. Now, unfortunately, unlike the previous place that we were at, this girl is on her way out the door to be exported. We can't buy this one. And this snake is going to go to a new home, probably to somebody who is going to love her and care for her. And again, therein lies the controversy of the exportation business. So in our homes, there are only so many pure blood Suriname boas left. And if we don't replenish those genetics, if we don't expand that gene pool, then all we're going to be doing is essentially inbreeding from what we have. We need to get more of these pure genes into the gene pool in order to strengthen the populations that we're working with. So again, the exportation business here in Suriname and everywhere in the world, it's a yin and a yang. There's a good point to it and a controversial point to it. All right, so this girl has a big tick right here, and we're gonna get that off of her before she leaves the country. You ready? Look at the size of that tick though. It's a big cattle tick, and these guys, these cattle ticks, they get on these snakes and they are just really, really aggravating to the snake. But you're welcome. You know, it's all in how you handle these snakes. This snake is now relatively calmed down, still very irritated with what I'm doing here. So I'm not gonna do this for very long and further irritate her. But this snake is an extremely powerful constrictor. And a lot of people, when they do this, when they handle a big constrictor like this, they get scared. And they get so scared of being bit that they have a death grip around this snake's neck. And that can actually suffocate the snake and really hurt the snake. So my hand that is around her neck is totally free, but I'm still controlling her head. You really have to be firm but gentle when you handle these snakes. And as you can see, look at that. She has my arm pinned against my leg and she is squeezing my arm into my leg right now. But being here in Suriname, holding a wild, giant Suriname boa, I've kept these back in the 90s. These are my favorite boa locality morph, for lack of a better word, but this is an absolute dream come true to be here and be handling this big, formidable, strong boa. Man, I just want to sit here with her for a little bit. So she is just a sweetheart. Just a sweetheart.
So after visiting a middleman and an exporter's facility, we heard about another middleman in a remote village who heard we were looking for boas, and he asked us to stop by to show off what he found last night just outside the village. A lot of the middlemen in this area do whatever they can to put food on the table, from handyman work to finding and selling snakes to the exporters. For them, it's a good way to supplement what income they can get out in the rural parts of the country.
All right, so we are at Terry's house, and Terry is one of the local hunters here, and he goes out into the field. He catches these snakes and then he brings them here and he sells them. So you got a boa here.
This one is the what's here? You see this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boa. Oh, red tail boa. We call that's land comedy.
You say, how do they call it here?
Over here, upper land comedy.
Land comedy is a red tail boa. Yeah. Here, let's grab him out. Yeah. You want to reach your hand in there?
Yeah, now watch this.
Oh, just reach your hand in there.
Ooh, there we go.
Ah, there we go.
Okay.
Look at this. See? This is what I'm talking about.
Red tail boa. What a beauty.
Look at that. Just absolutely perfect clean pattern. Look at that salmon color on his sides and that just beautiful maroon red tail. I mean, the contrast on this snake is just absolutely amazing. So what we're gonna do here today is we're actually gonna buy these snakes from Terry, because these guys are going to go on a very long journey to Paramaribo, which is the capital city of Suriname. They're gonna sit in boxes, probably without water, probably without food, until they get an order and they're exported anywhere in the world. But, you know, when you live out here in a small little village right on the river like this, you don't have a lot of resources. These aren't bad people. These are people just like anybody else in the world that are trying to earn a living. And the way that they earn a living
is they catch snakes and they sell them to the exporters. So what we're gonna do is we're going to buy these snakes, and eventually we're gonna release these snakes in a place where they're not gonna be found by hunters. So this is another type of tropical habitat within the boa's range, and it's a little bit more sparse, and there's a lot more sun that penetrates through that canopy and comes down to the surface. And if you look right here, we've got all these nice trees, vines, and we are right along a river system. And this is the perfect place to release this amazing boa that we got from Terry. And look at this, in the sunshine, holy buckets, you can really see the salmon colored sides. This is an absolute gorgeous snake. Just look at those saddles. I love the little islands of color in between those saddles. This is just an amazing, beautiful example of a Suriname boa. Bob?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like this little spot right here.
Yeah?
So much cover, and it's very close to the water if he wants to get to the water, but I bet he's going to be interested in that cover.
In that cover right there? Yep. Sounds good. Let's go over across the river. So this snake with those salmon colors, those really beautiful contrasty saddles that he has, this is a pretty expensive snake. And I'm about to release him back into the wild, but he belongs out here in Suriname. And he is young. He still has a lot of growing to do, or she. And to take the snake out of the wild and remove this snake from the gene pool here in the wild, I don't know, I just have a little issue with it. And, you know, when you're dealing with boas, and I'm sure all of you out there that work with boas, you're cringing right now at the thought of me releasing this beautiful snake. But this is where he's going to live, and hopefully this is where he is going to thrive out here. All right, little buddy. You are just amazing. We've got plenty of hiding places in here, plenty of places for him to go, plenty of food source, and this is just, look at this, such a beautiful area.
That's
okay.
the perfect spot.
This is the perfect spot.
Yeah,
okay. There you go, buddy. Back to Suriname you go. Look at that. Heads right in for that cover. There he goes. Fantastic.
Sometimes it just feels good to watch a snake who belongs out here in the wild crawl away to freedom. And just the same, it feels just as good to walk into my reptile room knowing that each snake is well cared for, free from predators, and has all their needs met. There are no snakes on Earth quite like the boa constrictor in terms of beauty, popularity, and they are maybe the most recognizable snake even by people who might not like reptiles just yet. They have always been a staple of our hobby, and I don't ever see that changing. And by the way, I'm sure you're all wondering, but shortly after we returned from Colombia, we got word that Mama Snake did have her babies with very little problems, and they were all given a meal and released back into the wild. And Mom, well, she's doing just fine and is healing well and living in a nearby zoo until she's well enough to return back to the wild as well. And if at this point you're wondering why I didn't go to Argentina for the Argentine boa, or to Western Mexico for the Sonoran boa, or all the other places boas are found in their range, hold tight, because I'm already back to work on the Boa Constrictor movie part 2, as well as another movie on island boas of the Caribbean and so many more. So until then, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.
Hey, so that was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I hope somebody else enjoyed that. But anyways, I know I said I was gonna do an intermission and then probably go look at some stuff that we could put in with summer. It's been how long has it been? It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes ish. Took me a bit longer to watch a hour and 45-minute movie. Yeah. Anyways, I've got to call my doctor. I got a test result back and it's kind of shitty, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. We're gonna stop the YouTube.